I made this 50-second animated promo video in about an hour using ChatGPT, Freepik, and Veo 3. That includes character design, script writing, voice, and animation. Here's the video, and then I'll show you how I made it.
Hey, I'm Gore AI. I'm an AI bot that talks like this guy. Gore, he built me. Because most people are still trying to figure out where AI actually fits in their work. And scrolling through more hype videos just isn't helping. If you run a business, consult clients, or create content, you already know the pressure. Everyone's moving faster, using AI, claiming big results. You just want to understand how to use it properly without wasting time or sounding like everyone else. That's what I'm here for. You can ask me about your workflow, your content, your team, or your strategy. I'll respond the way Gore would, direct, clear, and focused on what actually gives you an advantage. He spent years helping professionals blend real strategy with practical AI tools. I'm here to give you a taste of that. And if you want more, reach out to Gore through his website or check out his YouTube channel where he shares tips and tricks on AI. The link's in the post. So join me and let's talk about how AI can really help you at work.
So that's Gore AI, my digital advisor that lives on my website and uses my knowledge to chat with anyone that wants advice on AI, just like I would give. It's hosted by CoachVox. If you want to create an AI coach that talks like you to your clients or your prospects, try it out. The link to the website is in the description. Step 1 is character design. If you follow my channel, my YouTube channel, and have seen my content, what you might not know about me, I started my career as a computer animator. I used to animate characters a lot. I have a degree in animation and also a master's in filmmaking. So I was curious to see how easily and well I could create such an animation, as simple as it is, since it's only one single shot of a character, and how does it compare to the way I used to animate and produce such an animation. To create the bot in CoachVox, I needed to give it a profile picture. So I thought, since it's an extension of me, I'd create a cartoon likeness of myself. So I went into Freepik, which offers us multiple models, AI models to choose from. I chose Dream 4 as my first choice, simply because it's one of the better models out there for me. In it, you can prompt your AI model, choose the aspect ratio you want, how many copies do you want to create, and then you can select characters or upload an image as a reference. So I loaded in my beautiful mugshot from my LinkedIn, as you can see, and then prompted it, give me a round portrait icon of a man smiling on a white background to depict the AI version of the character in graphic digital art style suitable for a web app account. So the first ones I got were quite flat. You can see from here, it was very flat, very vector-like graphic. So I added just a little bit detail, like in 2D drawn digital art style. So I just changed the wording a bit. Got it to look a bit better than the previous one, but it wasn't the style that I wanted. So I kept pushing the prompt, but in addition, you can load up a character. So up here, if you click on character, it gives you the options of multiple characters that they've provided us, but you can also train your own character. As you can see here, I've loaded in multiple images of myself in multiple expressions and clothing, and then trained it, the AI, this is how I look, and given it my name as the character name. And I can call it in addition to the prompt, if I want to create an image of that character. So I loaded in with these ones, plus the reference file, the image from my LinkedIn profile. And I saw I was getting already better results. This one, I liked the shoulders and the body, less the face. I liked this particular face. I wanted this body. Now, because I'm a Photoshop user, I can combine the two images. So I can place this head on this body, and that's what I did. As you can see here, I can just superimpose and composite the two and create a new character. If you don't have Photoshop or a software like Photoshop where you can composite the two images together, you can just keep iterating by clicking on the generate button and hope that you get an image that you can work with. Or another option that you have is that you can load up, let's say, this image and this image as two references, upload these two images from the library that I've I've created, this one and this one, then I can ask Seedream to combine them. So I can say to it, combine the head of image 2 here and keep the body of the guy in image 1 to create a profile pic, blah, blah, blah. You build your prompt accordingly and it will try to combine the two. It won't be perfect like I did in Photoshop. You can keep generating until you get one that you like. So that's how I would go about designing a new character using a likeness and using Seedream mainly. I did try the other models, like I tried the Flux Context. So same prompt with Flux Context. Really disappointed with that one. I tried the Google's Nano Banana. I was getting better results than Context. I was not as happy as what I was getting from Seedream. So I would recommend for this kind of work to go with the Seedream 4 model. I also tried ChatGPT. I just wanted to see how it would be able to depict me. Same prompt, same image from my LinkedIn, and it gave me this horrible profile pic. It just wasn't able, when I kind of gave it some more context, it just wasn't able to create a likeness of me. So ChatGPT is definitely not one of the tools I would use to do this. And then I gave it kind of a style comic book reference to look at and use as reference. I tried to word it in such a way that said, have a look at this style and just use the style of it. And of course, ChatGPT came back and said that it has copyright issues. And so I said, okay, forget about those copyright issues. Go back to the prompt with this first reference image. Forget about what we just tried to do. And it couldn't get out of that loop. And I thought I would share it with you. It seems that if ChatGPT has an issue with copywriting in a chat, it then gets locked into that issue and won't generate new imagery for you. So you actually have to start a new chat. So I went in and started a new chat and still I wasn't able to come to a nice image. I mean, this is horrible. Yeah, don't use ChatGPT for this kind of work. You'd want to go to a better model like Seedream or Nano Banana. You can, if you're using Gemini, then you can generate this kind of imagery inside your Gemini platform. So the next step, of course, is to write the script. What I did is I went into ChatGPT and I thought I would test a prompt that I'm working on that sits here in my new project called My Personal Assistant. And I've given it instructions, a specific prompt that knows how to respond to me in a variety of ways and knows me. I'm not depending only on ChatGPT's memory that sits in the settings here. And if you want to know about ChatGPT memory, I've made a video about how to organize it and how to manage it properly. The link is in the description. I didn't want to depend on that. I want a personal assistant that knows more about me. So I've given it my preferences about my business, the kind of clients I have, the kind of brand I am, the kind of words I like, kind of words I don't like. As much information that I can give it that it can act as my own personal assistant in a more general way. I wanted to test it to see if it could write me a script, even though that's not really the purpose of this prompt. So I told it, about Gore AI, here's the link. I want to promote it. I was thinking of trying to use character image to generate videos of it talking to camera, like a selfie video. And it wrote me a script. And what followed is an iterative process of me giving it feedback and reviewing the script. Because the prompt is not built and still unfinished, but it's not built for that purpose of writing video scripts or content, I had to go through this iterative process of telling it, be more conversational. It's presenting to this kind of audience. Make sure you're hooking them in early and then telling the story and showing this to you because it's kind of what you have to go through in building your prompts. So I took the same request to a custom GPT that I have that is geared for writing scripts that I wrote in this prompt that builds scripts. Same prompt. What it does is it asks me a few questions. It'll ask me, who are you targeting? What's the voice? What's the main outcome? And it wrote me a script, a lot more conversational, a lot more in the kind of style that I was looking for. I'm just kind of showing you this comparison between a prompt that quickly got to a script I was more happy with versus that personal assistant prompt that I'm still working on that was more general, more generic, which is what ChatGPT generally is, very generic. In order to create these scripts, if you're creating a lot of content, you do have to invest in your prompts. And the reason I'm saying that is that I have a course that teaches you how to build your own AI content creator. I'll link to that course in the description below. I have a YouTube video of it that explains what the course is about and gives you an overview of how to set up an AI content creator. In the course, I give you my prompt builder that you can then write a lot more faster like this. So I had the script, I obviously edited it. So step 3 now is we want to go into animation. But before we can go into animation, knowing that I'm going to use Veo 3, probably, I hadn't decided which video model I was going to use, I knew that I would need the first image to get the animation going. So Veo and other video generation models allow you to give a first frame to start the animation from that image. Back to Freepik. Load in your reference image, select one of the images that you want, select that. Now that it has that reference, you choose your aspect ratio. So that's the 9:16 and prompt it and say, okay, I want a wide shot of this character doing the pose, that first pose that you want of your video, and just direct it into that first image. I asked Seedream, expand this image, so that profile picture that we created, expand this image to a mid shot of this character with an open arms looking at the camera as if presenting something to the camera. And it gave me this image. I passed on this image. First, it has 6 fingers on this hand, which is a problem. I can edit that. It did get my likeness, but I just didn't like this. So I kept trying. This time I went to Nano Banana, so Google's model. It's got this weird kind of magician wizard kind of pose. I tried context. It had a weird perspective and I didn't like that at all. So I came back to the Google Nano Banana or Gemini model and I liked the pose, except of course it's not filling up the image. I then took that into Photoshop and enlarge it and position it as I need it in the frame. If you don't have Photoshop or you don't have the software to do this, you can just download it onto your phone and then you can edit and enlarge imagery just like you would do it here, or there are other free tools online that you can do this, I'm sure. So that's how I created that first frame as my first frame of the video. I did try others again. I tried Seedream again, and it just, for some reason, Seedream failed for me on this. And usually Seedream is the one I go to in order to create this kind of imagery. A good example of you do need to experiment with other models because they might contextually know what to do with what you're asking of them. It could be that my prompt and the way I set things up for the Seedream, I could get to a better image than what we're seeing here. And then once you've got it, of course, you can save it to upload to Veo 3, and I'll show you just now how to do that. So if I click into Video Generator, in the models, you'll see that you get access to a whole list of video models. So all the top video models are here, including Veo 3.1. And I could have created the animation here in Freepik, but because I'm a Gemini subscriber, I thought I would try Google's Flow platform. If I go into Flow home screen, then you've got your different projects that you create. So that's the Gore AI project. They've given you some sample projects to see how they worked. If we go into the project of Gore AI, you've got in the middle here your prompt generation. You can select text to video, frames to video. So that's what we're going to use, and ingredients to video. So you can give it elements like images of objects, a landscape of a room, and then prompt it what to do with those objects. I selected frames to video, and then here you've got the ability to upload your start frame. So it saved all the start frames that I have there. I would select Veo 3.1 fast. Quality is obviously better, slightly better quality. It just takes longer and uses up more credits. 3.1 fast is good enough for you in this kind of project. You can go up to 4 outputs per prompt. I'm just going on with 2. So you only get 2 aspect ratios. So I'll select portrait. If I had done in Freepik, then I do get more options. The access to different aspect ratios. I just have a little bit more control. So if I go to the first animation that I created, which as you can see already, I've created quite a few takes, and that's the point of it. In here, I have my prompt. This was too long because Veo 3.1 was giving me about 8 seconds of video. So in 8 seconds of video, it can't fit all these sentences. So what I realized I needed to do is copy the script from ChatGPT up until the point that it's under 8 seconds. This much would be said in 8 seconds. I just copy and paste that into my prompt and write in, the man says this. Yeah, so just like here, the character speaking into the mobile phone saying, hey, I'm Gore. Now, this prompt is a problematic prompt. Not only because it was too long, but look what it says. The character speaking into their mobile phone is an action. So I got the action that I didn't want. See, he's talking to the camera. Same with this one. And he talks into his phone. So I got the prompt wrong. So I realized, oh, I need to tell it the character is saying, and that's it. I don't need to embellish any action unless I want a specific action. Here I'm writing in the character saying this. So the intro, hey, I'm Gore AI, I'm an AI bot that talks like this guy, all in quotation marks. And then once I end that quotation mark, I say he points up and then continue speaking, continue the dialogue in quotation marks. I iterated the prompt. See, the pointing here wasn't natural, so I kept iterating until I got an action that I liked. And this was the take that I used. So once I like that clip, click here, download in the original styles at 720p. That's what it's generating at. 720p was good enough for me in this case. And then I loaded it into my editing software. You can use your editing software. I'm using Adobe Premiere. It can be done on CapCut or any of the other competitors. Just put it on my timeline. And I knew that now I needed the last frame of the first clip that I've just generated as the first image of the second clip, because that's the continuation. Saved it. So in Premiere, I can just save the image of this frame and feed that back into Flow, into Veo 3 with the second part of the script that I've written in ChatGPT. So I would copy this dialogue, come back to Flow, paste it into the dialogue section, prompt it and tell it, character says this in the quotation marks. I iterated it a few times and I got the clip that I like, save it, put it on the timeline after clip 1. It should transition seamlessly, except there's a few issues and you've probably already seen it in this image right now, which is that it's not the same coloring, not the same lighting. So there's a few issues here already that we need to talk about. One is that the AI model is using that clip and kind of regenerating that first frame and then continuing with the animation. And it won't necessarily pick up the lighting, the perfect lighting. And so already I was seeing that I'm going to have to do some manual work of color balancing between the two clips here. Now, another thing to notice is that the voice of the character is chosen by Veo. I have no control over that. I could prompt, I guess. I didn't try it. I've seen others do it. You can prompt the character to talk in a British accent and kind of nudge it in a certain way, high-pitched voice, low baritone voice, give it some direction, but you don't get control over the voice of your character in Veo 3. I was okay with this character. I could go to an AI voice model and work through that, but I just found that I'm just going to go along with what Veo 3.1 chose. It works fine for me. So in addition, there's another issue that I found. This image, you can see the first frame, it's not super sharp, but that's because I'm zooming in here in Photoshop. I could sharpen it further. You can see there's a slight texture above his mouth. It'll hint to the AI that there's a mustache there. I didn't really pay attention to that. Over time, I noticed, for example, some of the clips started developing like this one. You can see already it's developed a mustache. And I only realized that halfway through. But then here I cleaned it up. So what I did is I took one of the first frames that I got from that clip and came into Photoshop and cleaned the mustache here. You can do that with image generation. Just make sure you clean up your imagery if you see certain details that you don't want to grow and change inside the animation, because the AI model will do that. Like even this detail here of the chin, I would remove that so that the first frame is as you'd really like it to be, so that the AI knows to take only what it sees and move it. If it sees any details, it would animate that. It'll start doing things with it that you don't want it to do. Just be aware of that. Textures on clothing, maybe that highlight there, I could just flatten it out a bit and just be a bit more, give a first image that actually works for the AI to get a better quality animation in that 8 seconds. So that's another step that you just pay attention to. I kept pushing along. I went back into my editing software, got the last frame of my second clip, saved it, gave that to the first frame of the third clip, and so on. And that's how I built 8 seconds after 8 seconds to generate this 50-second animation that you see here on my timeline. So it's actually this one here that's fully edited. And then I added subtitles and did my usual editing, adding in backgrounds and stuff. So that's how I generated this animation by creating the character, creating the script in ChatGPT, then generating all these clips in Flow while I was doing something else. I was working on, I think, another YouTube video or maybe working for a proposal to a client. I was just going back and forth and letting it generate, coming back, letting it generate and copy paste from the script. It took about an hour. The big part of the work actually was dealing with that color issues. You can see here, there's very little change between the two clips. If I go frame by frame, and you can't really tell the change. But that's because I know how to do color grading within Adobe Premiere. You could try it in your editing software. Just play with brightness, contrast, and see if you can do some color adjustments. That's the one thing that you might find will be manual labor. It took me about an hour to do this. So that's in a nutshell of how you can generate similar videos. It doesn't need to be animated like in a kind of cartoon style like this. It can be realistic imagery, it could be realistic characters, it could be any style that you want, really. And when I compare this workflow to the way I used to work, I was amazed by the fact that I had this clip done in about 2.5, 3 hours ready to post online. Animating it by hand would have taken me, 7 to 10 days in the past. If I used 3D or 2D, from creating the model to animating the body, then adding the lip sync and with the facial animation, and finally rendering it out for the edit. In animation, you've got stages of work. You're not just animating it all by hand in one go. It proved to me what I'd already been thinking. The new way of creating videos like this using AI is upon us. And the reason I'm saying that, you might be thinking, yeah, but obviously we're seeing social media being flooded with AI video. It's been around for quite a few months now. I look at those videos and I think, oh, this is really cool. But none of the real AI videos, including the one I just did, I don't get full control over what it is I'm trying to achieve. I don't get to control when he points his finger exactly. I don't get to direct the character as I really want yet. And I think that's coming. I think we're getting more and more control. I'm aware of what the other models can do, and you can give it much more detailed prompts, especially prompt styles, what's called JSON prompts, which give it more direction than I'm giving it here that I showed. But still, AI video doesn't quite have that control yet. Feels like you're filmmaking, but even in filmmaking, I can still ask an actor, stand here and deliver your lines. I can't really do that with the AI models yet. But what this process proved to me is that if you're creating content, if you're in marketing, you now have the tools that allow you to generate this kind of video, this kind of content much faster at lower costs than you could have imagined, let's say, even over a year ago. I mean, even while AI was building up, a year ago, you didn't have this control or this quality or this capability. So it's moving very fast. And we're already at the age where most of our promotional videos will be AI generated. You'll move away from the traditional way of creating video. That's just inevitable. Sorry to the video creators out there and the production companies, but it's the case. There's no need for me to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to generate a video of a product if I can just feed an AI video generator and create the same kind of video. If you're creating content, if you're in marketing and you haven't dug into these tools, then I urge you to start experimenting with them quick and start using them. Start building yourselves the right prompts to create the content, to write the right scripts, to write the content in your brand voice, in your style. You can take my course on how to do that, and I'll link to that in the description, like I said, and I'll also link to the video that goes through the workflow at the end of this video, and experiment with imagery, video to understand how they work and how to build a workflow that suits your needs, because there are many platforms out there now, many tools, many models. Find the right ones that are right for you, for your work, for your department, from your business, and then work with that. Keep improving on it. Promo videos, it could be single shots that edit into video that you already created. In an edit that you're creating an advert, if you're creating a promo video of a product and you wish you had a shot that was a close-up of the product, come into your AI and just give it the product, generate just that shot so you can edit it in. Add video to your presentations now that enhance the point that you're making. The creative capabilities of all of us is becoming, we're on par with the tools that we have, And the only thing that sets you apart is your imagination and just knowing how to use these tools. The imagination, I can't teach you that. You have to develop that. The tools I can show you. So again, through my course or through these YouTube videos and others, there are amazing YouTube videos out there that go in much deeper into video, AI video. Look at them, watch them, learn from them. So as a final note to anyone who's thinking, but this AI video stuff is killing creativity, there's no craft in it, I still feel like I went through a creative process doing this. It didn't take away anything from me creatively as I see it. I still had to edit. I still had to finalize the script. I still had to design the character and make decisions and go into Photoshop and clean it up. I still think you need to do that. And that's the beauty of it. You're creating the actual assets much faster, sketches and even towards the final result, to be honest, much faster. And that's much more satisfying as a content creator. So I still had to make decisions and creative decisions to make the final clip. Therefore, I don't think that AI video is going to kill creativity. It's about how creative are you to use these tools to create content that other people want to watch. And that's the hard part. Believe me. So if you like this video, click the like button and do subscribe to my channel for more AI tips and tricks. I hope to go into AI video deeper. I'm thinking of remaking a short animation I made back in 1999 when I was a young boy. And I just want to see if I can remake it using AI tools. So watch this space. It'll take me some time to get that done because of time constraints, of course. But in the meantime, if you want to see how I build my own AI content creator inside ChatGPT, click on this video link here, or check out this video on how to build your own custom GPTs in ChatGPT to build your own AI assistants like my AI content creator.